So, to understand how we become who we are, we'll navigate 5 major milestones: the prenatal foundation, newborn reflexes and motor skills, developing sensory abilities, cognitive development stages, and finally, building emotional attachments. Basically, we're looking at the ultimate construction project of your life. Okay, Section 1, the prenatal foundation, building the biological base. We start right at the beginning. Genetics sets the stage, sure, but it is definitely not a closed system. Factors like the mother's age, her daily nutrition, and even her emotional state and stress levels heavily influence this incredibly delicate biological process. And this space really is delicate. We have to talk about teratogens. Basically, these are environmental agents that can dangerously derail normal prenatal development. When a baby's growth in the womb gets knocked off course by these outside forces, the results can be, well, severe or even fatal. So what do these hazards actually look like in the real world? We're talking about things ranging from extreme maternal stress and poor nutrition to viral infections like rubella or HIV. It includes the consumption of drugs and alcohol, radiation like X-rays, and even dangerous environmental pollutants like carbon monoxide. These are the direct, tangible threats to that delicate biological base. Moving on to Section 2, newborn reflexes and motor skills, the hardware boot up. Once out in the world, a newborn might look totally helpless, right? But they're actually equipped with incredible automatic survival mechanisms right out of the gate. At first, involuntary survival reflexes totally take the wheel. Take the rooting reflex, where a light touch on the cheek makes them instantly search for food, or the Moro reflex, where they throw their arms out if they hear a loud noise. They'll tightly grasp your finger and even fan their toes out if you stroke their foot. That's the Babinski reflex. But as their internal hardware boots up, these automatic responses fade out. They're replaced entirely by conscious, voluntary motor control. And this conscious control kicks off a fascinating step-by-step physical progression. We go from sitting up to crawling on hands and knees to standing up and finally running. And you know what's truly mind-blowing? This exact motor sequence is virtually identical for babies all across the globe. Section 3, developing sensory abilities, calibrating the inputs. Now, to really understand how a brand new baby sees the world, I want you to imagine holding your smartphone just 2 inches from your face. Everything is incredibly blurry, right? Early vision is just a blurry world of reds and whites, with a heavy preference for looking at faces close up. But here's the wild contrast. Their other senses are essentially superpowers from day one. They can track the direction of a sound, instantly recognize their mother's smell, and respond sharply to physical touch from the very beginning. What's truly incredible here is the sheer speed of this sensory calibration. Within just 12 months, that blurry, limited view sharpens into stunningly clear, adult-like 20/20 vision, along with full color recognition. It's an absolute game changer for how they interact with their environment. Section 4, stages of cognitive development, installing the software. Externally, a baby may look passive, but inside their head, millions of neural connections are firing at unbelievable speeds, laying the solid foundation for future language, intelligence, and understanding. The famous psychologist Jean Piaget mapped out how we transition through these distinct mental upgrades. It starts from ages 0 to 2, where infants learn strictly by touching and tasting, that sensory motor exploration. From 2 to 7, they unlock pre-operational symbolic thought and basic imagination. Between 7 and 11, concrete logical reasoning kicks in. And finally, from 11 to 15, complex, abstract, and formal thought comes fully online. A massive, massive leap in this early cognitive timeline is object permanence. Initially, babies operate on a strict, out-of-sight, out-of-mind rule. But soon, they undergo this monumental shift, realizing that a hidden toy hasn't actually ceased to exist. It's still right there in the room, just hidden under a blanket. This completely changes how they process reality. Section 5, building emotional attachments, activating the network. Now we really have to ask a deep psychological question. Why do infants form such unbreakable bonds with their caregivers? Is it purely biological just because they provide food? Or is it something more? Well, the famous 1962 Harlow monkey experiment tackled this exact question. Researchers gave infant monkeys a choice: a cold wire mother that dispensed milk or a cloth mother that provided zero food but offered soft contact comfort. The monkeys overwhelmingly clung to the milkless cloth mother. It proved definitively that physical comfort actually trumps food when it comes to bonding. And this lines up perfectly with psychologist Erik Erikson's theory. He realized that a child's entire worldview, whether they trust or mistrust their environment, hinges on the warmth they receive in that critical first year. As he put it, a sense of trust is born of physical comfort, which gives rise to the expectation that the world is a safe and good place. Physical comfort literally programs how safe they believe the world to be. The lifelong impact of this is absolutely staggering. Warm, responsive care builds a secure attachment, creating a confident child who is ready to explore the world. But on the flip side, a lack of sensitivity can create an insecure attachment, hardwiring deep-seated anxiety, fear, and self-doubt that can linger for decades. So this leaves us with a pretty profound question to end on. If the absolute core of our biology, our reasoning, and our emotions are locked in during these very, very early months, how much of who you are today was already decided before you ever spoke your first word? It really makes you realize that this journey of human development is nothing short of a miracle. Thanks for exploring this blueprint with me today.